Hi everyone, it's Tanya and welcome to today's video. And so today I wanted to do a slightly, maybe a funny video, I don't know, maybe not funny, just a different one, an interesting one, I guess. I have seen a lot of people and a lot of booktubers struggling with Russian names. Obviously, like, names and words in general is a difficult topic. I myself struggle with, like, pretty much all names. I butcher. If I don't know how to pronounce the name in advance, I will probably butcher it. I mean, like, English names, Korean names, Spanish names, French names, all the names from other countries. So names are a struggle for me as well in, like, foreign languages. And I also see a lot of people struggling with Russian names. And I was like, hey, I can help. But like, you know, this video isn't meant to, like, make fun of anybody. It's not meant to, like, bash anybody. No, because I myself struggle with so many names. I understand that it's a struggle, and I just thought, like, if you're interested, if you want to learn how to pronounce a certain name, here we are. I can help you. We're going to talk about a lot of Russian classics. So we will start with the golden age of Russian literature, which is the 19th century, basically from the birth of Pushkin till the death of Chekhov. And then we will go to the silver age of Russian literature, which is the 20th century. And so I will just give you names of most famous authors, because obviously there were a lot. Some of them I don't know. I think you would not be interested in them. We will just talk about the most famous, and I will only like teach you the names, but I will not talk about their books too much. But if I find, like, that they have a book in English translation, I will insert a picture of the book here so you can check it out for yourself, but we will not talk about them because otherwise this video would be too long. In this video we are just talking about names, and just on the side, if you're curious, you can check out the books that will appear on here on the site. So, but this video is about names and how to pronounce them. So basically, in Russian, I feel that lots of people, like, the main problem of many people is that they overthink it. Because in English, obviously, if you don't know how to pronounce a certain word or a certain name in advance, often you will not know how to pronounce it, right? It's not like that in Russian. In Russian, what you see is pretty much how you say it. there are, like, slight changes in pronunciation. Like, the main two changes that can happen are with vowels and with consonants. So if a vowel isn't stressed, then O becomes A and Y becomes E. So if not stressed. And then the second change that can happen is with consonants. So if a consonant, a voiced consonant, is standing in the end of the word, it will become voiceless. So D will be T, G will be K, B will be P, V, F. So, like that. And that's also, like, all changes that can happen. Anyway, so let's begin with the names of the authors. We will start, like I said, with the golden age. Golden age, the 19th century. Okay, so here's a famous one. Konstantin Batyushkov. Konstantin Batyushkov. He is a poet. He's a famous poet. Next one, Pyotr Vyazemsky. Pyotr Vyazemsky. He is also a poet. He was a poet and a critic. Alexander Griboyedov. Alexander Griboyedov. He didn't write a lot of books. I think his most famous work is what is the English name? Goria Tuma. I don't know the English name. The picture will be here. I think he has only one, the most famous play. It's a play, but it's a very famous one. So Alexander Griboyedov, the most famous Russian poet. He's, like, #1 poet in Russia. Alexander Pushkin. He's, like, beloved author. Everyone knows him, and he is also considered, like, the person who changed, like, the Russian language and made Russian language what it is today. Because before Pushkin, the language was, like, very different. It was like old style of Russian language, and he made it, like, new. He also has some novels and some short stories, but primarily he is a poet. Next one, also a poet, Yevgeny Baratynsky. Yevgeny Baratynsky. Easy. Next one. Oh, this is a very famous poet. I like him. Fyodor Tyutchev. Fyodor Tyutchev. Fyodor Tyutchev. Or also, a side note, we are not talking about their patronymics because that would complicate things. So Fyodor Tyutchev, Russian poet. Nikolai Gogol, Nikolai Gogol, Nikolai Gogol. So I like him. I really like his Evenings Near the Village of Dikanka. I really like that. I know that he also has novels, but I haven't read the, I don't know the English name, Мертвые души, Dead Souls, something like that. I don't know the English name, I'm sorry, so it will be here. I haven't read that one, but I want to. And I also have a movie, Russian adaptation of the story, and I also haven't watched that one. Okay, next one is Mikhail Lermontov. Mikhail Lermontov. He is also a poet and novelist. He has written one of my most favorite novels of all time, A Hero of Our Time. I adore that book, A Hero of Our Time. Wonderful. So, Mikhail Lermontov. I also like this author. So, Ivan Turgenev. Ivan Turgenev. Ivan Turgenev. Easy. He has written Fathers and Sons. I like that novel a lot. And also The Gentry Nest. Nest of a Gentry. Something like that. The English name would be something like that. It will be here. So, Ivan Turgenev. Next one. Oh, this is a poet, and he writes poems about like nature mostly, and also like very beautiful poems. I don't know if they are translated in English, but he is very famous in Russia. Afanasy Fet. Afanasy Fet. Afanasy Fet. Very easy. Next one. Also a very famous poet, Nikolai Nekrasov. Nikolai Nekrasov. Nikolai Nekrasov. So, also easy. And now, okay, so the most famous of, I guess, two is Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky. So I'm sure you know, all of you know Brother Karamazov's Crime and Punishment, The Gambler, Idiot. So all of those books. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Next one, a very famous playwright. So he has written lots of plays and he's very famous, and I really like some of his plays. Alexander Ostrovsky. Alexander Ostrovsky. Alexander Ostrovsky. So that's him. So this is the author whose books I want to read this year. I mentioned him in my classics to read video, which will be linked up here. If you want, you can watch. So Mikhail Saltykov-Shchedrin. Mikhail Saltykov-Shchedrin. And I personally want to read The History of a Town, I think the English name, and also The Golovlovs. That's what I want to read from him. Mikhail Saltykov-Shchedrin. Easy. You see, they're quite easy, like pretty much what you see is how you say it. Don't overthink it too much. Next one is also the second one, the famous one. English is like Leo, but actually in Russian it's Lev. Lev Tolstoy. Lev Tolstoy. Lev Tolstoy. Lev Tolstoy. Very easy. Very short. And of course everybody knows Anna Karenina, everybody knows The War and Peace and Resurrection. So yeah, that one. Actually, we have three Tolstoys. In Russian literature, we have three Tolstoys. We have Leo Tolstoy, Lev Tolstoy, Alexei Tolstoy, and Konstantin Tolstoy. So we have three Tolstoy, actually. But Leo is the most famous one. This is also quite a famous author. He writes also short stories. Nikolai Leskov. Nikolai Leskov. I don't know if he is translated into English. If he is, I will put the picture here. So, Nikolai Leskov. Another also a famous one, and he is actually like from my kind of region. So Dmitry Mamin Sibiryak. Mamin Sibiryak. Dmitry Mamin Sibiryak. Dmitry Mamin Sibiryak. So he is from my region. Next one. Well, everybody knows Anton Chekhov. Quite easy. Anton Chekhov. Very short. Anton Chekhov. Cool. So those were authors from the golden age of Russian literature, so the 19th century. Now we are off to the silver age of Russian literature, which is the 20th century. So here we have lots of poets, and we will start with poets first, and then we will go to the novelists. So, poets. Konstantin Balmont. Konstantin Balmont. Konstantin Balmont. So, him. Actually, in the 20th century, we have quite a few famous female poets, which is pretty cool. Zinaida Hippius. Zinaida Hippius. Zinaida Gippius. Very easy to say. Next one. Brusov. Valery Brusov. Valery Brusov. Valery Brusov. You see, very easy. Russian names are quite easy. Like, people just overthink them. It's like what you see is how you say. Don't overthink them. What else? We have Andrei Belый, also a poet. Andrei Belый. Oh, my favorite one, Alexander Blok. I really like Blok. Alexander Blok. Alexander Blok. I really like his poetry. He's a cool guy. But he was an interesting one. He had okay, story time about Alexander Blok. He was just very interesting. So he was married to a daughter of our famous chemist, the person who studied chemistry, so Mendeleev. So the guy who created the table of elements, Mendeleev. Blok was married to his daughter, but because he was an interesting person, for some reason he saw this woman as like his muse. So he was just thinking very high, I guess, of her, and so he never slept with her. Because she was just like his inspiration, she was his muse, and like he just couldn't, like, you know, do that with her. That's why he cheated on her a lot with other women, because like she was something different for him. He, like, you know, she was his muse. I always thought it was an interesting thing to do. Like, you cannot sleep with a woman because you regard her as your muse and as like a higher being, you know. Poor Blok, interesting person. Next one, Nikolai Gumilov. Nikolai Gumilov. To be honest, I haven't read a lot of like these poets. Like, I know their names because they're famous, but I haven't read their poetry. I read a few, like Blok or Fet or Tuchev, but not Gumilov, for example. So I also haven't read a lot of this. Like, don't think that I read all of them. I haven't. Next one is also a lady, Anna Akhmatova. I like her a lot. Anna Akhmatova. Easy. Okay, this one might be a little bit difficult. Osip Mandelstam. You see, they also have like a lot of interesting last names, which are not necessarily like Russian last name, because like, hello, Mandelstam isn't like a Russian last name actually. Igor Severyanin. A poet. Igor Severyanin. Oh, this is such a famous one, and he has very interesting like style of poetry. Vladimir Mayakovsky. And he actually, many of these poets and writers in like 20th century had very interesting lives, like a lot of very interesting things going on in their lives. So some of them support Bolsheviks, some of them didn't support Bolsheviks, some of them had like a very interesting love life. In case of Mayakovsky, for example, he was in love with a woman who was in love with a different man, and so they lived together, like the three of them, I guess. I might be wrong, like, but I know that like he was in love with that one woman who appreciated him as a poet, and she wasn't a poet herself, but she was like in these circles of like artists and poets. I forgot her name. And so he was really in love with her, but she didn't love him, she loved another man, and so they were like the three of them together. So interesting. Next one. Oh, this is also a very famous one. Sergey Senin. He was this like a free-spirited poet, and he was also very handsome. He was like, women loved him because he was a very handsome guy and also like a poet. So, you know, women love such men, and so he also had like a lot of drama in his life. So Sergey Senin. Boris Pasternak. Well, obviously he is not only a poet, he has novels, but he was also a poet. So Boris Pasternak. Easy. Another female poet who is also very famous, Marina Tsvetaeva. Very easy. Next one. Okay, so now we are down to the novelists. Vladimir Karlienka. I haven't read him, so if I find any of his works translated into English, I will insert here. Maxim Gorky, very famous. Maxim Gorky. Maxim Gorky. I think I read his childhood, so he has also this collection like childhood, youth, детство, отрочество, юность, childhood, something, youth. I don't know English names, so if I find I will insert. So Maxim Gorky. Next one, Alexander Kuprin. Alexander Kuprin, this is the author who has written my favorite novella, which is The Garnet Bracelet. I like that novella a lot. So Alexander Kuprin. Ivan Bunin. Oh, Ivan Bunin, he writes beautiful short stories. They are very romantic and also like very sensual. Like they don't really have like on-screen like sex, but they are very sensual, like the sexual tension between a man and a woman. Oh, beautiful. So Ivan Bunin, if you like romance, if you like this sexual tension in literature, but like, you know, without like screen time, actually, he is wonderful. So Ivan Bunin, I don't know if he is translated into English, but he might be actually. He's very famous. Ivan Bunin. Oh, Alexei Tolstoy. Okay, we have already talked about it. Him. Alexei Tolstoy. Alexander Green. Oh, Alexander Green, I love him. I like him a lot. He has two of novellas which I really like. I have read Alaya Parusa, and then in English it will be like Red Sails, Scarlet Sails. I will Google it. I don't know. So I will insert picture here. So Green, that one, and also another one, Бегущая по волнам. I don't know how to translate. Running on the waves. That doesn't sound very beautiful. I will Google it. I will Google it. Alexei Green, Kornei Chukovsky. And he writes for children. He writes children books, and I grew up with his books, so they're brilliant. Kornei Chukovsky. Kornei Chukovsky. Also, of course, Mikhail Bulgakov. Mikhail Bulgakov. Master and Margarita. Master and Margarita in Russian. In English, Master and Margarita. Something like that, right? So, Mikhail Bulgakov. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I have read A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich, something like that. He was not German camps, but like Soviet camps for Russian people that were like opposed to the Bolsheviks. So he spent a lot of time there, and so in his novels he writes about his experience in those working camps in Siberia. So those are very heavy books. That's why I haven't read a lot. I have only read Ivan Denisovich, but that was like hard. This is a difficult one probably, and he isn't exactly like Russian. He is, I don't know which nationality he is. So Chingiz Aitmanov. Chingiz Aitmanov. It's not exactly like very Russian. He from like a small nationality within Russia. So Chingiz Aitmanov. Also a very famous name. Valentin Pikul. Oh, Valentin Pikul also very famous. Valentin Pikul, but I haven't read anything by him. My father's favorite author, Sergey Dovlatov. He really likes him, Sergey Dovlatov. I have also read Dovlatov's. He does like novellas, I would say, novellas and short stories. So, and I also really enjoyed them. So Sergey Dovlatov. This is like late 20th century. I guess that's it. Those were the most famous authors from the 19th century and from the 20th century. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was interesting, maybe useful in some ways, but again, like, don't stress yourself too much, because obviously everybody mispronounces names and like it's totally fine. I also hope that maybe you found some interesting like books that you would like to check out from the books that were shown here. So I hope this video was somewhat helpful or somewhat interesting, but I guess like don't stress out too much about it because everything is totally fine, like as long as people understand you, so don't worry too much, I guess. So yeah, oh god, I hope it was an interesting video. I hope. So let me know in the comments what you thought. But don't be too angry with me, like if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. I didn't mean like to offend anybody or do anything bad. I just wanted to like help if I could. So I hope it was interesting. Oh god, I don't even know if I will publish it. But okay, we will see. Yeah, Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a very good day. I hope you somewhat enjoyed this video, and yeah, have a good day. I will see you soon in my next videos. Thank you. Bye.